What is good, YouTube? It's your boy OG Nonboy back with another video, and as you can see here, I have not even hit veteran yet this season, and I haven't been posting all that often just because life has been pretty busy and I haven't really gotten around to playing too much GBL. But every time I want to gain elo, I generally play Noctowl, Medicham, and Lantern as my team, but this time I decided to run Shadow Charizard instead, which was a team that someone popularized last season, but I can't quite remember who. But the reason I decided to go for the Charizard is a lot of these teams nowadays, they do bait out your Noctowl with something, and then they're going to have the Trevenant in the back. And if they have a Trevenant in the back, then they can sweep your Medicham and your Lantern if you are running the Lantern. But this way, you have a second Trevenant answer for those Trevenants in the back. So without further ado, let's get into these battles here. I did go 20-5 this day, and I also was able to go from like 2370 all the way up to 2707 by the end of this video in the course of a couple of days here. So first matchup, we have a Azumarill. So Medicham into Azu isn't that bad, especially since a lot of times with Azu teams they will be running double ghosts. So they're going to bring in their first ghost type, and typically the second ghost type is going to be a Trevenant in the back. And usually you'll see Sableye and Trevenant nowadays, but they are running a Kofagrigus, which are Noctowl kind of hard walls here. And we're going to just let every move go here. And opponent most likely going to bring the Azumarill back in. And this is, oh my gosh, I can't even speak, but this should be a very good position for us, just because we do have both our shields still. And in a 2-shield scenario, our Shadow Charizard should just be able to straight farm down a Trevenant in the back. So they're going to take us out here. I'm going to bring my Medicham in, and I'm going to throw on CMP tie here with the Ice Punch. And this is not going to KO, but it doesn't really matter since they're in Wing Attack farm down range anyways. And this move also ends up just being an Ice Beam, but I'm going to instant swap. They have a Trevenant. They realize the game is over and they concede the match. So next match, we have Medicham into Medicham. So I generally stay in this since even though we have two better answers in the back, when you see Medicham leads, like they're going to have a Noctowl of their own and sometimes a Lantern. And a lot of times they will swap out like this too. And if you stay in with your Medicham and throw an Ice Punch first, you actually can pretty comfortably win this secondary matchup, since the counter damage puts them in a range like plus the Ice Punch where a single Sky attack will KO. But as you can see there, you can survive 2 Sky attacks from the opposing Noctowl. So all we have to do is get to 1 to take them out, and opponent is going to bring back in their Medicham. So I'm going to throw the Shadow Ball as we're only going to get to 1 move here before we're taken out. And opponent actually shielding that, so I'm going to bring my Charizard in here to get ahead on energy, and we are up a shield, so this is a very good position to be in as a Charizard, as you do have like you generate energy very quickly and you hit very hard. So I'm going to throw the Blast Burn here, and they let it go, and they have their own Charizard in the back, so they're running the mirror team. But since we are a like we still have our Medicham in the back, and since we're low, I am in Dragon Claw range, so I'm going to go straight for Dragon Claw since they would outpace me to their Dragon Claw if I attempted to go for the Blast Burn. So yeah, ended up taking that match there. Next match, we have Medicham into Altaria, and this isn't the best lead for Medicham, but it's also not too terrible. So we do get to the Ice Punch before they're able to reach a move. So they're going to have to either take damage or make the first shielding decision. So now their Altaria is half health, which is very manageable for our back 2 Pokemon. I'm going to swap into the, what's this thing here? The Noctowl. And this isn't all that great, obviously, as they will be able to hit me with a Zap Cannon, and they're going to be able to farm me down after as well. So I'm going to be in a range where like my Medicham is going to have to take a Zap Cannon, but here I'm like tapping a little bit slower just to not get as many fast moves through. But I probably should have stopped tapping altogether, because as you're going to see here, I want to leave this matchup with an Ice Punch, but I barely don't. Like, I am one away from the Ice Punch. But thankfully here, the opponent decides not to throw their energy, so I'm actually able to make it to an Ice Punch, which forces a shield, and then I'm going to bring my Charizard in, and I'm just going to shield everything, and I think I'm going to go for a really aggressive farm down here. So they're going to swap into the Swampert, so I'm going to go straight for the Blast Burn, since from this range, like, you do need a Blast Burn to KO, and now that they shielded that, I'm going to shield this move, and then I'm going to throw a Dragon Claw on CMP, which should be enough energy, or should be enough damage rather, to take out the Swampert. So I'm going to throw the Dragon Claw here, and then I'll also have a Dragon Claw ready for the Altaria in the back. So I'm going to throw this here, and this should take them out, and we're able to take that match there. So next match, we have the Medicham into Dedenne, and this is a hard core breaker for like our whole team. Like, it hard counters everything here. So I'm gonna go for the Ice Punch bait here, and we end up CMPing, so I'm gonna throw this, or shield this rather, and hopefully the opponent like shields this since it is a bait, but they actually let it go, which is pretty devastating. So I'm gonna go straight for the next Ice Punch, but they're going to throw their move, and if this is the play rough, then they're going to take me out, basically. Hopefully they don't shield this, just so it's a little bit more manageable for our back two Pokemon. So I'm going to swap into Swampert immediately, and they end up having a G-Fisk in the back. So at this point, the game is pretty much over, and I can see the match there. So next match, we have the Froslass lead, and this is another kind of a core breaker, but you can maneuver around Froslass if you play properly. So a lot of times they will just go straight Avalanche, but I was scared of the Shadow Ball, so I decided to shield it. And the last time I baited in a previous set, they actually let it go, so I decided to go straight for the Psychic this time. But now we're behind, because they're gonna reach the moves before we're able to reach the moves, obviously. So they're gonna get another Avalanche off. If I throw the Psychic here, they're gonna outpace me to the next move as well, and then I'm just gonna be taken out. But thankfully shields will be down at least, which means our Charizard can kind of sweep as long as we're able to get some energy advantage somewhere. So I'm gonna bring it in right now, and they actually swap into a Swampert. So I'm going to farm up a bunch of energy, and then I'm gonna swap out into my Noctowl, and my goal here is just to get the Swampert here low enough to where I can farm them down after they take me out. So a normal Swampert needs 3 Hydro Cannons to take out a Noctowl, whereas the Shadow only needs 2. So that's why I decided to farm up energy before leaving the match up there. So they're forced to throw, otherwise they would be farmed down by my Noctowl, and this sets up my Charizard very nicely for a massive sweep here. So they're going to bring in an Obstagoon, and I should have thrown one more like on CMP, but for some reason I throw one before, and this allows them to actually get the Night Slash off. But since we snuck in a Wing Attack and we will survive this, we do have another Blast Burn ready, and we're able to hit the Froslass here with some Blast Burn and take them out. So overall, able to go 4-1 in this set, and like I said, we were able to go 20-5, so that's an 80% win rate over the course of the day that I played these sets. So very strong team, almost at expert now, and yeah, definitely give this team a try if you're looking to gain elo before the Great League goes away for good this season. So that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and also submit your battles in the link in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one.